All right, welcome. This is on the training part of it. So let's dig in. Let's deep dive real quick here. So let me explain my philosophy and my principle on the training. We got training, which is weight training and cardiovascular training or aerobic training. Weight training is anaerobic training. Cardio is aerobic training. Here's the difference. One is with oxygen. With oxygen. One is without oxygen. What that means is you need oxygen present to burn and mobilize fat. That's why when you do your cardio exercise, you're burning fat for a fuel source. Anaerobic means without oxygen. So it's very similar to like sprinting. Lifting heavy weights, you're out of breath. Sprinting 40-yard dash, you're out of breath because you got no oxygen present. So when you're here, you're not burning fat for fuel. Your energy substrate at this point are the carbohydrates that you've eaten. Remember, energy, carbs are energy, they're our fuel source, our preferred fuel source. A fat is a fuel source, but it's a secondary fuel source. But we're not going to do this keto stuff because I'm going to moderate your carbohydrates and make this work and make it long term. So the carbohydrates that you eat are basically long chains of sugar molecules linked together. Think these little round circles, molecules linked together. So that's a complex carbohydrate, means it releases into your bloodstream, breaks off and goes in your bloodstream, breaks off, goes in your bloodstream, breaks off, so go, like this. It releases the sugar over time to give you a sustained energy. Simple carbohydrates like refined or processed or sugars are short chains. So they release quickly, they're into your system real quick. Real quick sets you up. If it doesn't get burned, it goes directly into fat. So anyway, sustained log energy maintaining blood sugar levels is why we eat the way we do and why I have you doing carbohydrates and why I have you doing frequency meals. All this stuff ties in to get the final end result. We don't skip anything because we know scientifically how the body's working. So your energy substrate at that point is the molecules are broken down. They're in the bloodstream. When they're in the bloodstream, your pancreas secretes insulin. So the insulin, picture like little mini school buses that is released from the pancreas, goes into the bloodstream, picks up that sugar molecule, and then transports it over here into the muscle cell. You can only hold so many carbohydrates or glucose molecules in the body's cells. Once they're full, they can't get in, then they go into the fat cell. That's why we don't do too many carbohydrates. But we need carbohydrates for energy. Okay, so anaerobic, you're using the stored energy in the muscle over here. Okay, once it's depleted, we got to replenish it though. All right, when we get into this further, and I know you're logging and tracking, you're starting to understand foods, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and your micronutrients, then I'm going to do the carb or calorie shifting stuff. But let's stick with the training right now. Anaerobic, aerobic. So weight training, cardio. Cardio can be walking, elliptical, rower, stairmaster, running, jogging, bicycling, stationary. If you're doing it outside, you have to have that heart rate up into a certain zone and keep it there. So we have a target heart rate zone over here. Number one thing that cardio does, it strengthens your heart. Number two, it burns fat. We want both. So we have to be in a target zone, which we would determine, or the devices that you buy, put it on a strap, by phone, whatever, can monitor your heart rate. But I'll still put a document here just explaining the 220 minus your age equals 100%. So 60 to 85% of that maximum heart rate is where you should be. But I want you in 60 and 85. We're going to be somewhere in here. We're not killing ourselves, and we're not going so easy on ourselves. When you go above 85 and you're working out real hard, you're not burning fat for fuel. Okay, so be careful of, is harder better? Everybody's got their own theories, but proof's in the pudding. Are you getting results? Okay, so we're going to do weight training. You're going to have an app. Once I enter you into the system, you're going to get an email from MRPA 1988, Mr. Pennsylvania 1988, MRPA 1988. That's coming from me. And I'm gonna have a basic program for you set up with weights. It's gonna have the videos. It's gonna have the sets and the reps. The only thing you gotta determine is the weight you're gonna use. I'm gonna teach you that here in a second. We're gonna change those workouts. We don't wanna keep doing the same thing over time. We wanna keep it interesting. We wanna keep the body from adapting. We want to keep results moving. Again, you're not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not doing that. That's not what this group is for. But you do need to know how to stress the muscle properly, because we're stressing it. We're actually putting a force on a muscle, causing a change to occur. If you do not put enough force on it, you're not going to cause a change to occur. So I'm just going to eliminate this here right now. Mostly it's women, but guys too. Higher reps is not going to burn fat. Just get that out of your head, okay? I already explained the differences. But we can also combine weight training and cardio in one workout by doing a strength, a cardio, a strength, a cardio, a strength, a cardio. That's if you're really limited on time. I like to prefer to split them up if we can, or do the strength, then the cardio directly after it. For example, if you're doing it first thing in the morning or at night after work. But a lot of people get this wrong. They do their cardio first and then the strength training. Let me explain and eliminate this right now so you understand. When you do the weight training, because you're eating the way I want you to, and you're putting carbohydrates and protein for repairing, the carbohydrates are in the muscle cell over here. Remember, they're stored. It's called glycogen, stored energy. You have to burn through that before you get through the fat. Well, how do we burn through this? Is we do the weight training. Deplete the glycogen in the muscle. So what do you got left over? Stored fat for energy. So we do the cardio after the workout. Make sense? Also, it was on the lines of weight training. It'll come back to me. So anyways, weights, it could be 3 days a week. I might do 4. I might do 5. I'm going to change it. As new people come in and as you start, we're all going to kind of be on the same type of training program. Unless you have limitations, then we take those into consideration and we discuss that. That's why I have you send in a lot of information to me, is we adapt. But you're still kind of in the same path or stream or momentum or workout. That's why we all have something in common and then we're all sharing and talking about things. All right, so let's go back to the weight training. How do you stress it? If I say it's 10 to 15 reps, let's just use a curl, for example, bicep, barbell or dumbbell. I like dumbbells, doesn't matter, you can do whatever. So let's say we're doing, first set needs to be a warm up. You warm it up, a moderate weight that you can get 15 just to get some blood in the muscle. So if I say 3 sets of that, you might want to make that a warm up. Now do 3 sets. It's progressive resistance, meaning now we're going to add some weight because 15 reps is really easy. We want to make that 15th rep harder. So now instead of using 15 pounds to warm up, now you're going to go into a set of 25-pound dumbbells. And you get in the 15th one is in good form, meaning like a 1-2 up and a 1-2 down. And I'm going to show you this stuff when we go through the community. We're going to keep this kind of stuff flowing. Is control the weight. I don't care how many reps, I don't care how much weight you can do. It's the force that's on the muscle. The muscle doesn't know if you're using 25 or 50. You can make a 25 feel like a 50. This way we're training safe and effective. You're not going to get hurt and we're going to achieve the end result. Now the next set, you're like, well, I got to 15, but it was a struggle, but I got there. I'm going to try the 30s, go to the 30s, but you may only get 10 reps. You might get 12 reps. You might get 15. If you get 12, it's fine. You're in that range of 10 to 12, like 10 to 15. Maybe the next set you go 35. Again, I'm just giving you an example. Once you say you get up to where you can handle the same weight for 3 sets at 15, it's time to go up. Make sense? Okay, so that's your weight training. Breaks down the muscle. The muscle fibers actually tear as we work out. We want it to happen. Micro tears. What builds them back? Rest and protein, your macronutrients. They come back, they heal, and they heal stronger. because it thinks you're going to put that force on it again, so it prepares itself. So we keep trying to use heavier weight in good form until you get to a point you're going to top out. You're not going to keep lifting to go up to 100-pound dumbbell curls. You might get to 30, and that's about as best you can do for 3 sets of 12. One's 15, one's 12, one's 10. You're in that range, great. But I'm going to change the rep ranges on you sometimes. Sometimes we're going to go 30 reps, 20 reps, 8 to 10s, maybe not, probably nothing lower than that, because I'm not trying to make a strength athlete out of you or a bodybuilder. I'm just trying to stimulate muscle growth that you're losing with age. Speed it up so you're more effective at burning, more efficient in burning calories. All right, so you're going to get the Trainerize app, the email, and I'm also going to put activate MyFitnessPal. You'll get an email from MyFitnessPal to register for that if you don't already have it. That way, in the Trainerize app, that you can carry this workout to the gym or wherever you go. If you're traveling, your workout's right there. It also tells me if you're even doing the workouts. I can see every move you're making, even with your food. We want that compliance, okay? So the videos are there. It kind of explains the workout and how to do them. I mean, explains the exercises. So you're not going to have to go, well, what's it look like? You got the idea, and it's properly done form. In the Trainerize app, you're also going to I want you to do, if you haven't done these already, your photos. I'm going to tell you how frequently we're going to take those. You want photos, measurements. There's a place in there on your own dashboard where you're going to record and log measurements. Your nutrition is going to be in there. It will show me like a compliance graph. When you weigh yourself, it's going to show me a graph. So we'll get better trained on this as we go through the process, but it's a pretty user-friendly app you're going to understand. It's a great tool, but we're going to store all your info in there. What you're eating, the supplements you're taking, your pictures, your measurements, your nutrition, anything and everything, it's there, and then we can see the progression throughout. So that's called Trainerize.com. So cardio, I'll give you examples of what to do. We want to do the least amount to get the most out of it. Now, some people, because they have more body fat to lose, they may be working up to doing cardio every day. But if you're getting good results on a half hour, 5 days a week, or a half hour, 3 days a week, and everything's still moving because you're taking your measurements and your body fat and your pictures and you're seeing the progression and you're not stuck, whatever you do, do not measure your result on the scale, because you're gaining muscle and you're dropping fat. You're going to say, the scale's not moving, but I feel my clothes are fitting better. Right, because you're putting muscle on and dropping fat because you're feeding the muscle, starving the fat, and you're doing your cardio to burn the fat off top of the muscle. That's what's supposed to happen. If it stays there for a while, eventually the scale will drop. We just don't want to drop the scale with muscle weight. Well, if you're gaining muscle at the same time you're dropping fat, it might stay there for a minute. Okay, so don't freak out. If that happens, you contact me right away, because you're doing the right thing. This is not weight loss. This is health all over. The byproduct of getting healthy is losing weight. Body weight, body fat, not body weight, because you can lose muscle and fat, and that's the wrong way to do it. And that's how you're going to yo-yo and rebound. You're not going there with me. It's not going to happen. I'm teaching you the right way. I'm not giving you some bullshit gimmick that these doctors out there are starving people and putting them on amphetamines to give them a 500-calorie diet to get you to lose weight on the scale. And you're like cheering, and I'm like going, oh God, they're just throwing your whole ecosystem off. And people cycle through that time and time again. It's just killing them. It's actually putting you to a slow death. It's aging you quicker. Now, if you come to your senses, you come to a guy like me that knows what he's doing. I have to restore all that, which is going to basically put back or anti-age you, and you're going to look a hell of a lot better and more toned, more fit. You're not starving. Your brain's fine. It can function. So 2 types of exercise, anaerobic and aerobic. You got the Trainerize. We got this. The training is the easy part of it. We just got to make time to do it. And when you get on one of the other videos, we're going to talk about your weekly planning. And then your weekly tempo. We're going to look at what the result was at the end of the week. So I'm always available inside the group. You got this. We're almost there, or almost ready to get in the race and get this sucker done. And we're not leaving anything unturned, because we're here to kick ass and do it right, and to anti-age and restore that 10 or 15 years and all those health conditions you have. Done it thousands of times. All right. See you on the next video.